Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Let's talk about sleep apnea as a secondary condition and as a service-connected direct condition as well. There's an important change happening here very soon, potentially April of 2025, where the VA is going to essentially eliminate your ability to receive a 50% rating if your treatment is deemed adequate with a CPAP. Now, currently, in today's world, I'm here in August of 2024, that your sleep apnea, if prescribed a CPAP, would give you a 50% rating. So it is vital that if you think you have sleep apnea, if you snore, if you have any sort of sleeping issues, you should absolutely see about getting a sleep study done, because this is your potential for a 50% rating, helping to boost your overall rating much higher, potentially to the 100%, which would pay you out over $4,000 per month, and then with spouse, kids, all that stuff, it goes up. So this is a big deal. A 50% rating is nothing to sneeze at, right? So with that, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. Every thumbs up and every minute watched helps the channel expand its reach, which is really what the overall goal is. So thank you so much for all your help with that. Many hands make light work. If you want to support the channel in other ways, consider being a member. You can do that by going to the homepage of the channel. You'll see the tabs there with videos and shorts, live. You'll see members. You can click on that. Thank you so much to all you members. I appreciate you. So, sleep apnea as a service-connected condition, sure. But what about as a secondary condition? And oh, by the way, you should put in an intent to file now and start working on that and get that claim filed. Again, the idea right now is that the VA's rating schedule change will go into effect April-ish of 2025, which is what the VA recently updated as far as a final date is concerned with regard to their rating schedule change. So we have a date out there. It could happen sooner. It could happen later. It could happen in April. We just don't know. The bottom line is that we know that it will change, and it's not going to be for the better. So I did pull up some information here that I'm going to read to you on the potential of having this as a secondary condition to other conditions, right? So let's look here, and I'm going to read this through, and then we'll talk about it. So sleep apnea can be secondary to many conditions, including mental health conditions, physiological conditions, and other diseases. Now, a lot of this is going to be and others, stuff like that. So when in doubt, this is what I would do. If I think I may have sleep apnea, go get a sleep study. If I snore, go get a sleep study. Get the sleep study. If it comes back that you have sleep apnea, have a conversation with your doctor about, hey, here's all of my service-connected conditions. Would any of these result in sleep apnea as a secondary? Have that conversation. But here's some information that I was able to pull up. So, mental health conditions. Sleep apnea can be secondary to conditions such as depression, anxiety, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and adjustment disorder, which is basically the entire mental health rating schedule for anything. If you have any mental health rating schedules, it's all kind of under the umbrella of adjustment disorder. In fact, sleep apnea and mental health conditions are often so connected that sleep apnea can also be secondary to mental health conditions and vice versa. So it's saying that your mental health can come from sleep apnea, and then your mental health can also cause sleep apnea. So important little correlation there. Next is the physiological conditions. Sleep apnea can be secondary to conditions such as sinusitis, allergic rhinitis, asthma, and other lung conditions. It can also be secondary to weight gain associated with musculoskeletal injuries, such as back, knee, hip, or shoulder injuries, okay? So if you have an injury that's preventing you from working out and being active, and you've gained weight and you have sleep apnea, that could be your shoe in, right? Or your foot in, whatever, you get it. The others are, look, sinusitis, rhinitis, that type of stuff. You're talking about Gulf War, burn pit, presumptive conditions all day long. Another one here is other diseases. Sleep apnea can be caused or aggravated by other diseases and conditions, such as Parkinson's, type 2 diabetes, heart problems, hormonal disorders, tinnitus, and more. Okay, so this gives a nice overview of opening the mindset to different ways in which you can attribute your sleep apnea to your service, right? As a service-connected condition being the primary driver to that secondary condition of sleep apnea. Now, is this going to be for everybody? No. But there's a big boatload, I'm sure, out there. And I will tell you, again, if you've ever had problems sleeping, you wake up tired, maybe you snore, you've been told you snore, maybe you were that guy or gal that nobody wanted to share a room with because you snored, so you'd get the boot thrown at you in the middle of the night, that type of stuff. Go get a sleep study done and see if you have sleep apnea. Because if you do, you could bridge that back to your service-connected conditions as a secondary condition and get that 50% rating today if you have a CPAP prescribed for you. So let's talk about the VA rating schedule. Funny math here real quick. Let's just, for argument's sake, say that you have 3 50% ratings, right? How does it work? The VA goes, okay, look, you have 150% rating. They take your highest first. They go, you have 50% bad. Well, guess what? That means you're still 50% good. So then they take your next highest rating, 50% in this example, because they're all 50s. Next 50% of your 50% good is 25. They add that 25 to your 50 bad, making you 75% bad. That means you're still 25% good. Then they're going to pull up your next one. That's 55 or 50. They're going to look at that against your 25% good, and that's 12.5. That 12.5 gets added to your 75, takes you to 87.5, actually rounds to 88. So now you're at 88. Well, that means you're still 12% good, you're 88 bad. That 88 then just rounds to a 90, and you're a 90% rated veteran. What if you had another 50%? The closer you get, the harder it is to get there. So 88% bad, you're 12% good, you're rated at 90. 12%. You have another 50% rating coming in. Well, 50% of your 12 is 6. 6 plus your 88 is 94. 94 still rounds to 90. But let's throw in tinnitus, which is going to go away mostly here at the same time frame, April. So file for your tinnitus now if you have it, and that's your other 10%. Your 10% of your 6% good is a 0.6, which actually rounds to a 1. Now you're at 95. 95 rounds to 100, so now you're a 100% rated veteran. So with that, that's Stan in the background. If you can hear him, he's my rooster. All right, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great one, and remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.